My name is Awemi Dio Maisamari. I was the vice president to Honorable Jonathan Atsake when he was the president of Sokapu. And when he stepped down from that position to contest for the governorship of Kaduna State under the Labour Party, I assumed the leadership of Sokapu. Even before then, I was the president of the Adara Development Association. And we all know that in Kaduna State, one of the communities that suffered the most during the reign of Nasir El-Rufai, in fact, the Adara community is one. And so I can talk authoritatively, even though I know time will not allow me. But the truth of the matter is that our experiences under the tyrannical leadership of Nasir El-Rufai is better imagined, because the things that happened are so bizarre. You cannot imagine that such kind of things can happen in the 21st century. First, from the perspective of Southern Kaduna as a whole, since I also ended up being the president of Sokapu, we all know the history of Kaduna State. How Kaduna State was relatively peaceful, and there was better coexistence between the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state. And there was always equitable sharing of power and benefits, economic and political, between the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state. And of course, we all know how the two regions used to exchange or interchange the key positions in government, whether it is gubernatorial or deputy gubernatorial or even ministerial. Now, the biggest legacy of Nasir El-Rufai was that he came to put a stop to that peaceful coexistence. He came with a purely ethno-religious agenda, which he later on, at the end of his own administration, publicly admitted that that is what he came to do. And he was able to do it in Kaduna State, and he was going to proceed to do it at the national level. The videos are there for everybody to see that he came with an agenda. Of course, Muslims have ruled Kaduna State, they have ruled Nigeria. But we do not experience anything of the sort that we experienced under Nasir El-Rufai. And so the story is out there. We all know how he virtually, divided the state into two and made sure that even though, of course, a lot of people suffered in the northern part of the state, just like we in the southern part of the state. And those who suffered were simply because they were not supporting the kind of tyranny he was imposing on the state. They preferred a more just and a more equitable, a state. But that was not his own agenda. And so we know very well that these facts are all there for everybody to see. And that he has promised that this thing will continue for the next 20 years. Not just in Kaduna State, but even at the national level. And I believe one of the reasons why he has fallen out with the present government is because they are not agreeing to do exactly what he wants to be done as far as his own ethno-religious agenda is concerned. And so Southern Kaduna suffered a lot during El-Rufai, and what we are calling for now is that there should be a proper investigation, an inquiry into the kind of injustices that occurred during the reign of El-Rufai, not just between the government and Southern Kaduna. All of us that are here who are victims of El-Rufai's tyranny, I have been calling and been looking for an opportunity that we can meet like this. And I am now saying that from now on, we should form an organization, an association that we should continue discussing to know how we are going to make sure that justice is done to us. Because we suffered under El-Rufai, and we are still suffering now because nothing has been done to address our concerns. And so I feel this is a golden opportunity for us to pick up from where we are now to make sure that something is done about our situation and that of the state as a whole. And if you come to our ethnic group, in particular, that is Adara community, one of the most notorious things that El-Rufai did was the scrapping of the first-class Adara chiefdom. No other community has been dealt with in such a way in the whole of Kaduna State. In fact, it led to the killing of our first-class traditional ruler. And even now, nothing has been done about that. And so we feel all these atrocities are enough for the government, both at the state and the federal level, to set up a high-powered commission of inquiry to find out the truth about what actually happened so that justice can be done. I believe what happened in South Africa at the end of apartheid, when a Truth and Reconciliation Committee was set up, Kaduna said it's also right for something like that, so that we can, for once and for all, address all these issues that are pending, and that if they are not addressed to, then it means that we have not started doing justice to the situation that we found ourselves.